understand what that tirade was actually about. I heard the word apologise, and I think the member should have started apologising himself, because remember at the last election what he was proposing that the economy would do. And look what actually happened. 0.3% growth. 0.3% growth in the last quarter, and the Treasury's outlook and the Treasury's projections have been lower and lower and lower than we've ever had before. This government, Mr. Speaker, this government, since the beginning of the year, has been a debacle. A debacle, and I'll just run through a little list of the debacles that have occurred and are still occurring, Mr. Speaker. Look at Crayford Farms. Look at the asset sales. The asset sales, which this member over here, the Finance Minister, could not even give us a price of what they were worth. Not even a best guess. He couldn't even give us a best guess. It's only a guess. Now we've got us in this House, the government proposing that we sell legislation in order to put 500 pokey machines into a corporate office. 500 pokey machines. This is legislation for sale, Mr. Speaker. Nothing more than that. But this list doesn't stop there. Let's keep on going with this list, because then we come to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. 1/4 of their entire staff have been axed. And what does that mean? Well, let me tell you what that means. A free trade agreement in South America. The number of staff there have been halved. A free trade agreement with India. The number of staff in India now will be 2 diplomats. 2 diplomats. And the change program that Mr. McCulley has put into place, Mr. McCulley, who is the ultimate micromanager, who not only is a micromanager, but then stands up and says he's got nothing to do with it. It's all the CEO's problem. I just haven't given him enough money, that's all. Is this a joke? It's a complete joke. New Zealand's interests overseas are being squandered and undermined because of a minister who has cut the Ministry of Foreign Affairs by 1/4. By 1/4. It is an absolute disgrace. This is frontline services. And you wait when we have frontline services being cut around the police, because they've been asked to cut $350 million out of their budget. And of course it's going to be backroom. It's all going to be backroom. Well, it's going to be backroom until the police on the front line have to come into the back room to do the jobs of the people who are no longer there. That's what's going to happen, and the crime rate will go up, as it has in Auckland. That's what's going to happen, Mr. Speaker. Hey, but it doesn't stop there. The T-tapes. We have spent 3 policemen have actually spent 4 months investigating a complete and utter joke, which is around privacy, that the Prime Minister believes was somehow disrupted because he happened to invite the entire country's media to a private conversation. And what did he expect? What did he expect? That was something like tapping somebody's phones in the UK? That is an insult to those people who actually had their privacy violated in reality, Mr. Speaker. But it doesn't stop there, Mr. Speaker, because we've got the appointment of Mr. McElrea. And Mr. McElrea, Mr. Speaker, Mr. McElrea happens to be John Key's electorate chairman. And what is he doing? Well, actually, he's leading New Zealand On Air. And he's not only just on the New Zealand On Air board, but he's actually having a real influence on everything that appears on TV, on everything that appears on TV that is funded by the New Zealand taxpayer. And if that's not it, we come to the big coup de grace that the lady in pink over here was talking about this today, which was ACC. And the government has bungled this so completely, that the accusation of cronyism which is beginning to reverberate round the country, is starting to undermine a wonderful institution. It is cronyism, Mr. Speaker, that the ACC debacle is about. It's all about, and if you wanted to know how to get influence in this country, join the National Party. That's the signal in this debate, Mr.
The Honourable